Ricky Cross. Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm a singer.
Hi, my name is Peyton, and I'm a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back with a very exciting reaction to one of our favorite Ricky Boy groups, and we will be reacting to Ghost 9.
Yes, so Ghost 9 is back with a new release called Control. Obviously, we watched the teaser in advance, so we kind of know what to expect with this, and it's back to their more, serious style after the summer cute break that was Up All Night. That being said, let's go!
It's rated.
Wait, what? Oh, 15.
15.
Oh. I should turn the volume up. I can, barely hear it.
It's creepy.
Oh, wait. Oh, the piano. Hazy clap sounds, yeah.
But it's like a camera at its
Oh, it's
head.
a camera?
It was like a camcorder.
Oh. Oh.
I keep trying to see what all this stuff
The writing?
says. Yeah.
The horns are really prominent. I noticed that from the teaser too. Oh, is that why it's rated? Because of the
probably
knives.
That one scene.
Yeah, because they're actual knives.
Oh, a lot of
that's
horror
creepy.
film tropes, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're doing a lot of references like symphony, maestro, horns, piano.
I really like that.
Oh. Oh, what is the section? The bass line makes it more I can't find the word right now.
Stillness. Not just silence, stillness.
They're going like this, conducting. Cause control. All the facials are making me think of the Joker.
Oh, really?
Kind of. Just the sort of smiles. Like that.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah. They're still 20
they're holding a
seconds.
conductor's
Wand?
baton, whatever.
I've never heard someone call it a wand, sorry.
Really? My band director called it a wand.
Oh. Unrelated.
Let's start off by talking about the dance, and to no one's surprise, I'm sure, we're going to talk about Control a lot. It's the name of the song, and it really shows up a lot in various ways throughout the dance. So just a couple of more obvious ones. There's a lot of movements where it's one member is controlling the rest of the group, or their arms are controlling themselves. So I said, oh, I really like this thing in the chorus because it was controlling their heads. Or the beginning is really impactful when Jinwoo is singing and then Prince is behind him, and what they're doing is impacting the rest of the group, but it's sort of puppeteer pulling the strings behind him. It gives that feeling. put a pin in it because we're going to come back to that idea in a little bit. Something else from a more like technical perspective that I found really interesting was the control of the body and what they're using to lead their movements, because it's not always the part of the body that you would expect. And that's something that can make a dance a lot more interesting. For instance, if you are walking, something that you expect is your head sort of like leads into the movement, but you might want to make it more interesting by like, oh, your shoulder pulls you. That's the idea that I'm talking about. And they play around with that a lot. The best example is in the chorus when Junhyung is in the center for the V and they're doing the head movement and it's rolling with their foot, but their heel is actually leading it and pulling the rest of their body forward, which is different because when you're actually watching it, it seems like the focus would be on the head, but it's almost like they're being pulled forward from the bottom up. So that's really cool, and it makes it a little bit more interesting because you're sort of watching it trying to figure out like, why is this different? There's like something you can't quite put your finger on, which goes with the whole concept as well. Something else that's a little bit more technical is their core is the center of a lot of the movements, meaning that you can see their axis really well because they keep coming back to it. There's a lot of movements where they spread and then they snap back, sort of like they've been pulled in. And it gives this feeling, especially before the bridge in the dance, of puppets on a string or like marionettes, like someone's controlling them. And a really good example of that is again in the chorus, but when Shin is in the middle and they're doing the arm movements, they're going like out and then up, and it's sort of like they're being pulled and then they snap back together. So kind of like I said at the beginning, it looks like Prince is the puppeteer. In the dance later too, it looks like they're puppets on a string because of the arm and leg movements that they're doing. So I thought that was a really interesting idea because it's like this idea of what is controlling them. But I also thought the switch was really cool because there's that moment in the song after the bridge, it's like silence and then there's stillness in the dance too, which doesn't always happen just because there's silence in the music, but they really do like go completely still and they're almost standing straight like soldiers. And then after that, the dance gets a little bit more loose and fluid, like they're now in control, which I thought was really interesting because in the music video, that's when they sort of like take control and like sort of switch roles with the masked men. So I just thought that was a really interesting like point of connection for the music video and the dance. It's like they're turning from the doll into the conductor and they've like taken control of themselves. I don't know, if you can't tell, I really liked it. I like when Ghost 9 does these creepier concepts. That's what sold me on them in the first place. I'm like here for it. Anna's turn.
Hello, okay, so it is now time for my comments, and I guess I'll start with time signature. So the song is in 4/4 time, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4. However, there is a lot of usage of like triplets in this song, and one of the most prominent uses of triplets in this, I think, is the dramatic piano line that you hear like right from the beginning, because if you're counting in 1, 2, 3, 4, the piano line is going like da 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 da. So it's triplet, 3, 4. So that kind of like contrast or conflict with the rhythms has a really interesting effect on the way that you receive the song, because also like it's an sort of off-putting, scary sort of horror concept. The song obviously is in minor, and minor keys are more like off-putting. That's what you associate it with. And then also that conflict of the rhythms, it's like, oh, something's kind of wrong here. But also another effect for me of the triplets in 4/4 time, it's kind of like this rushed feeling of like you're anxious waiting for something to happen. But talking about like actual instruments in the song, I mentioned in the reaction too, like they're going with a more classical sort of theme. A lot of times classical styles are considered to be more dramatic, which is true in the case for this concept. So they have like the piano and they're using a lot of horns as well, especially in the chorus. There's like a line that exists, but also they're used in like punchy moments for emphasis, like the boom, boom, boom. And you see it emphasized in the music video where you'll see like an important shot there or like someone's arm jutting out here on the horn moments. And also, like I mentioned in the reaction, more classical instruments associated with like conducting, which is also a move in the dance because the song is called Control. But it's interesting because also they're like combining these more classical elements with obviously more like electronic modern sounds as well. Going back to the horns in the chorus, it's sometimes at the end of a horn line, you'll hear it distorted into like a synth sound. So they're being combined together, which is interesting to think about because like in the past, Ghost 9 had like really techno electronic like concepts for releases. The last thing I'm going to say is that they use a lot of sequences. I noticed like the melodic line in the bridge is just like a descending sequence, which is an interesting choice. One, I just like sequences, but also the whole idea of like repetition, so it's like slightly changing but it is like the same intervals, is interesting when you put it in the context of like they're being controlled and now they're breaking free. But then also, speaking of the bridge, I mentioned that like the bass, entering the electric bass, made it shift into a slightly different feeling, less classical, and it felt kind of like, maybe it's because of the red light, but it felt more like sensual, which makes me feel uncomfortable to say about Ghost 9, but do you know what I mean? And I don't know how to end the comments, but that's the last thing I had written down, so I'm just gonna stop here. But I have to keep talking because it's my turn to TLDR. So TLDR for this reaction video is, first of all, congratulations to Ghost 9 on their new comeback. Their new song, Control, is wonderful, amazing. And I feel like a slightly different style than what we've seen from them so far, yet they're still going back to like a slightly more like serious concept. So it's nice to see. They're growing up, they're maturing.
So that being said, if you also love and adore Ghost 9 and you were super excited for this comeback and you want to talk about them or about it more with us, then come find us on our socials and we're ready to talk. They're linked in the cards. And if you enjoyed this reaction video, as always, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and bye!